Good afternoon, dear beloved Sangha. It's nice to see all of you. Can you hear me okay? Thumbs up if you can hear. Wonderful. Would it be possible if you could unmute yourself and just say hello in your favorite language?
Hello.
Which can you smile, right?
Hello.
Hello.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hola.
Bonjour.
Aloha.
Hello.
Buonasera.
Ha.
Yate.
Shalom.
Good to see everybody. I like how you say ha as hello. I heard somebody did that.
Hola.
Very creative.
Hola.
Hola. Yes, I heard hola. I also
Hola.
heard a very joyful smile. So,
We see very joyful smiles.
oh, thank you. A smile is contagious, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
why you're smiling with us.
Yes.
So, dear respected teacher, dear Sister Dinya, and dear beloved Sangha, friends from all over the world, um, as always, it is a great privilege and joy for us to be here with you today. Today, the monastics had a picnic at Sardis Lake. For those of you who live nearby us, you know that there's a beautiful lake here called Sardis that has a flood control dam. And the purpose of this lake is a flood control. And we left home around 5:30 this morning. The cooking team woke up around 4 o'clock and was at the kitchen to prepare the last minute food for all of us to ensure that we won't go hungry. Right? We never go hungry when we have a picnic. And yesterday, all of us gathered in the kitchen to prepare more food. And we arrived in time for a short sitting meditation at 6, and by 6:20, the beautiful sunrise. Mahavairochana Tathagata. That is the name of Father Son that in Buddhism we chant to praise for his compassion. Mahavairochana Tathagata, great Father Son, Buddha of infinite light and life, to whom we bow in gratitude. So I was contemplating the sun as the Buddha, the infinite light. And I say to myself, we will do whatever we can to protect you. And as we know that climate change is now happening more rapidly than we ever seen. And then we enjoy the meditation walk, tea, and Sister Lingam and I, we came home early to take a long nap before this session so that we can be fresh like this. So I'd like to introduce to you, sitting next to me is Sister Lingam, one of 6 sisters that arrived from Asia to Magnolia Grove Monastery last month.
Yes,
Yes. How long were you in Thailand before you came here, sister?
about 7 years.
Are you able to hear her okay? Okay, yeah. And before that, you were in Blue Cliff Monastery in New York.
Yes,
For how long?
I think 5 years.
5 years, yes. And 2 days ago, when I asked if she could join a weekly online session, and she was like, yes, just like that. And that's something I don't get often when I invite others to join me for this weekly online session. So I'm very grateful for you being here with our friends, and perhaps we all can join our palms to say hello and thank you, Sister Lingam, for being here today.
Thank you. Obrigada.
There's a request if all of us could mute ourselves because there seems to be like echo going on or noise going on. So please allow me to mute you if you haven't muted yourself. Okay. Are we ready to sing some songs? Wonderful. If you could let us know what song you would like to sing on the song sheet, and we will choose the songs that you like. Oh, okay, let's see. Hopefully it's coming up. Okay, are you able to see this okay? I'll make it bigger. If you could type the songs that you would like us to sing into the chat box, or if you could unmute yourself and just say it out. I have arrived. I am a cloud. Okay. When you are invited to relax your whole body.
Number 8. And when I rise.
Yes. So we will sing 3 songs. I have arrived. I am a cloud. And when I rise. If you could relax your whole body and sing to the people that you love. But please mute yourself. And you may rock your body back and forth from left to right. This is a way to relax your whole body. You know how when you sing to a baby, you rock the baby to sleep, for the baby to relax, for the baby to feel your love. So I invite you to do all of that because in each one of us, there's a child within. We all have arrived. We are now settled. So then, let us sing. Sister Lingam, please sing with me. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. I am solid. I am free. I am solid. I am free. In the ultimate I dwell. In the ultimate I dwell. There was a request to sing I Am a Cloud, number 15. I am a cloud, I am the blue sky, I am a bird spreading out its wings. I am a flower, I am the sunshine, I am the earth receiving a seed. And I am free when my heart is open. Yes, I am free when my mind is clear. Oh, dear siblings, yes, dear siblings, let's walk together mindfully. And I am free when my heart is open. Yes, I am free when my mind is clear. Oh, dear siblings, yes, dear siblings, let's walk together mindfully. And now you are invited to sing the last song, And When I Rise. Before we sing this song, I just want to share that in the song I Am a Cloud, we change oh dear brothers, oh dear sisters to oh dear siblings, because we want to make the song as inclusive as possible. Yeah, thank you. And when I rise, let me rise like a bird joyfully. And when I fall, let me fall like a leaf gracefully, without regrets. And when I sit, let me sit like a mountain solidly. And when I lay, let me lay like a lake, calm and still, reflecting on. And when I work, let me work like a bee, lazily. And when I play, let me play like the rays of the sun, rejoicingly. And a bonus one. And when I cry, let me cry like a baby, wholeheartedly. So next time, if you have cry, cry like a child, but don't scream though. And my name is Sister Bội Nghiêm, and my pronouns are she and her. And the English translation of my name is Sister True Pearl. What is the English translation of your name, Sister Dingyam?
Sister True Commitment.
True commitment. So can you make the commitment to come here with me all the time?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay, there you go. That was easy.
If it's not my cooking time.
Yes, we're on the same cooking team for
Okay.
right now. You know how when you were young, if you wanted something and you're afraid your parents would say no, you wait until when there's a guest in the house and you ask your parents and they would say yes, right? Who did that when you were young? Anyone? Okay, yay! I'm not the only one. Well, if you didn't know that trick yet, try it. But don't let your children know or your nieces and nephews know. And again, it's a great joy for us to be here today. And I know that some of you are coming to the monastery tomorrow for the special weekend with the theme Taste Hands in Our Hands. This weekend is for those who have received the 14 mindfulness trainings order of interbeing members and Sangha facilitators. And it's a very short weekend, but we have a very full schedule. What we will offer is also workshops on 3 different topics. One is on how to conduct a mindfulness training's recitation ceremony. The second one is resolving Sangha conflicts. Sangha means community. Yes, there are conflicts in the Sangha, not just is. So how can we resolve them? The third one is bringing diversity, equity, and inclusivity into the Sangha, because we see that our Sangha is not as diverse as we want to. So we will learn together ways and art on how we can make the Sangha more diverse, more equity, and more inclusive. And so we hope that for those of you who come for this weekend, you will benefit from the retreat. And for those of you who are unable to come, we hope that you will come soon in the near future. And so now we would like to invite Sister Lingam to offer us a guided sitting meditation. Please invite our friend to. Thank you.
Dear friends, I would like to invite everyone to sit comfortably, relaxingly. Relax your shoulders. Keep a half smile on your face. You might want to close your eyes. Easier to come back to your breathing. Breathing in. I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. Aware of my body, I breathe in. Smiling to my body, I breathe out. Aware of body, smiling. Aware of the state of my mind, I breathe in. Smiling to the state of my mind, I breathe out. Aware of mind, smiling. Experiencing the pain in my mind, I breathe in. Smiling to the pain in my mind, I breathe out. Experiencing my pain, smiling. Experiencing the pain of fear in me, I breathe in. Smiling to the pain of fear, I breathe out. Experiencing fear, smiling. Experiencing the feeling of insecurity in me, I breathe in. Smiling to the feeling of insecurity, I breathe out. Experiencing insecurity, smiling. Experiencing feeling of sadness in me, I breathe in. Smiling to the feeling of sadness, I breathe out. Experiencing sadness, smiling. Experiencing the feeling of joy, I breathe in. Smiling to the feeling of joy, I breathe out. Experiencing joy, smiling. Experiencing the joy of freedom, I breathe in. Smiling to the joy of freedom, I breathe out. Joy of freedom, smiling. Experiencing the joy of release of tension, I breathe in. Smiling to the joy of release of tension, I breathe out. Joy of release, smiling. Experiencing the joy of letting go, I breathe in. Smiling to the joy of letting go, I breathe out. Joy of abandoning, smiling. Experiencing the neutral feeling in me, I breathe in. Smiling to the neutral feeling in me, I breathe out. Neutral feeling, smiling. Sister, dear friends, the session of sitting meditation is over. Then please open your eyes. You can offer yourself some massage on your face, your shoulders, your hands, and smile. Please smile to everyone.
Dear respected teacher, Thầy, dear Sister Lingam, and dear friends, today is August 25th in the year 2022. Sister Lingam and I were sitting at Magnolia Grove Monastery in the dining hall, where a lot of people love to sit to have informal conversation with a cup of tea. And I hope that one day we will also have that same opportunity with you. Today, I would like to share on the topic of the three types of generosity, or three types of giving. It was back on August 4th, 2022, Sister Tự Nghiêm and I, we were having a session with you, but then there was electricity outage at Blue Cliff Monastery. Do you remember? We had to come in and go out for at least 3 times. It was very disruptive. And so we weren't able to share on this topic like I wanted to. Today I would like to redo it again, and hopefully there is no electrical outage. The weather looks very good. Sunshine, no thunderstorm. You're hearing me well, so it's perfect. But before I go in details of the 3 types of giving, I want to share that this is part of the 4 series that I will do in the next couple of weeks, based on the theme, the 4 skillful ways of inspiring others, or the 4 skillful ways to win hearts. In Vietnamese, it is called Tứ Nhiếp Pháp. And I read some of the writings online by other monastics, but I find the translation to English difficult for me to understand. And if I couldn't understand the translation and I share them to you, I don't think you could understand. That is just my assumption. So I just came up with the translation for myself because it helps me to have a better concept and to have a better understanding. So this is the part 1 of the 4 skillful ways to inspire others. You know, there are many organizations, political parties, non-profit organizations, that they have their own ways to get people to follow them, to inspire them, and to be on the same side with them. So I'm sure they do a lot of advertisement. They spend a lot of money on hiring many people, and they're very careful with the words that they use. In Buddhism, the Buddha taught us that there are 4 ways And the first one is giving. And there are 3 types of giving, which today we will talk about. In order to inspire other people, we also practice loving speech. So that is a second way. Third one is the beneficial acts. The things that we do, that they make sure that they are beneficial to others, and not just to humans, but also to the environment, to the minerals. Oftentimes, when we think of doing something, we think about the benefits that people receive first. But I think we need to be more open-minded, have more compassion, that what we do, we want to ensure that it has a great impact to the environment, to the trees, to the animals too, and not just to humans. The fourth one is to inspire others. We learn to work together because we know that in order to have great impact and for changes to take place, it is teamwork, it is community. That's why we talk a lot about like community organizing. In Plum Village tradition, we speak about Sangha building or go as a river. That one Buddha is not enough. We need to have many Buddhas in order to alleviate the suffering in the world, in order to bring more joy, in order to have greater impact, positive impact to the lives that we touch. And we can only do this when we work together as a Sangha, when we work together with other people. Okay, so now pop quiz. What are the 4 ways? Uncle Dan? It's pop quiz time. I just shared with you the 4 ways. Anyone remember? If you remember, please unmute yourself.
Giving,
Yes.
Loving speech.
giving, loving,
What is the second
ben-
one?
beneficial acts,
And inspire others.
Work
Yes.
together.
Thank you so much.
Inspire others. Which one is the number 2?
Loving speech is
Loving
number 2.
speech.
Yes. Oh, I should have said that. Please don't type in the chat box because it's like cheating. Others see the answer, right? You should
Oh,
have
dear.
unmuted yourself. Oh dear. Okay, I will give better instruction next time on a pop quiz. But yes, thank you so much for sharing that. You know, when you come to the monastery, if you attended one of the ceremonies, whether that is the recitation of the 5 mindfulness trainings or the 5 mindfulness trainings, or any special ceremony that the monastics wear a saffron robe or sangadi, we would do the incense offering. And after that, we practice touching of the earth. When we express our gratitude to the Buddha, we do this chant. And I invite you to listen to this chant carefully. So it goes like this. Teaching and living the way of awareness in the very midst of suffering and confusion. Shakyamuni Buddha, the fully enlightened one, to whom we bow in gratitude. The 2 words that are very important for us to see are teaching and living. whatever he taught to his disciples, to his followers, he lived by them. He walked the talk these days. That's what we say, right? And we are the continuation of the Buddha. Are we able to walk the talk? I'm sure there were moments that we were able to do that. And it is only through teaching and living that we can transform the deep root of suffering inside of us. These days, people talk a lot about mindfulness. They would go and teach about mindfulness. And only they would know if they're living by what they teach. We only attend a session with them, right? Besides that, we don't know what their lives are like 364 other days. You don't know what my daily life is like. Sister Lingam does. She knows when I walk very fast. There's a bell here. Or when I have the tendency to react, and my mindfulness level is not as high as I wish. And so reciting this sentence helps me to practice what I share to others, because I am also a continuation of the Buddha. And this is something that he also wants us, all of us, to do, is teaching and living the way of awareness in the very midst of suffering and confusion. And that is one type of giving. When we talk about giving in the United States, or this is worldwide, Giving Tuesday, right? People are encouraged to do kind acts on Tuesday. Or when it's the end of the year, we would write checks to different charities to make donation. And every year we receive the annual report from the Thích Nhất Hạnh Foundation, we see that it is often the end of the year that we receive the most donation. Because a few months after that, you will have to do your tax. Right? So you are encouraged to give money to charities so you can have some tax credit. And oftentimes we only hear of material gifts when it comes to giving. But the Buddha, you know what the Buddha was like, right? The Buddha shared with us there are 3 types of giving, 3 kinds of giving. The first one is materials. I hope you're writing this down, so because we'll have a pop quiz. And if I ask you, please don't write in the chat box. So the first one is giving. The first one is materials. The second one is dharma. Usually, when we talk about dharma, it's the teachings given by the Buddha, which is somewhat similar to our own insights and experiences, right? Our own wisdom. That is also dharma. The third one, this one is special. Please underline them, bold them. Non-fear. Non-fear in us is also a gift to others. Non-fear that others have is also a great gift to ourselves. 3 types of giving. Anyone? Can somebody repeat it for me, please? Please unmute yourself.
Materials,
Dharma.
non-fear,
None.
I think it's wonderful if all of us can unmute and say the third one together, non-fear.
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 non-fear,
Non-fear.
Fear.
Huge.
Non-fear.
Non-fear. Yes. Non-fear. When I went online to look for the meaning of the word giving, it can be an adjective, it can be a noun, and it can be a verb. And what I find how it's defined in adjective is very eye-opening. Giving, providing love and other emotional support and caring. We can add non-fear into that, right? As a verb, it is to present voluntarily and without expectation or expecting compensation, which is something we often heard. Give without any expectation of wanting anything in return, even if that is a thank you. I had moments where people came to me and say this, Sister Bội Nghiêm, I remember the conversation I had with you 5 years ago, and you say this to me and it helped me so much. I was like, wow, really? And I could see the joy in their eyes, and I felt so happy. And then through that experience, this is what I learned. Sometimes it's good to forget the generosity you give to others, so that when they mention it to you again, you receive it with so much joy and not with ego. As monastics, we don't have a lot of money. We are not rich. I only, in the Plum Village tradition at Magnolia Grove Monastery, each monastic has $70 allowance each month. This is the same for those who have ordained for 20 years, 30 years, or those who just ordained yesterday. We really practice equality when it comes to monthly allowance. And so I don't have much to give to others when it comes to materials. And so I give myself a budget. For example, whenever it's Christmas time, I say this to myself, okay, I will go to the store and I will buy anything, things that are under $5 that the receiver can use up to a few months. And so that's usually floss or toothpaste, right? Because I don't want to buy just like a candy or something that, okay, you eat it and then you're done. I want people to remember me when they use it, but at the same time, it has to be within my budget. And that is just under $5. And that can be used for a long time. And it makes us feel very joyful when we're able to give something to someone that at that time they needed. This is something that I often experience, and I also made these mistakes. Let's say I want to give this pen to Sister Lingam. I say, Sister Lingam, I have a pen, I want to give it to you. And then Sister Lingam will say, No.
your sister.
Yeah, in this case, she takes it. Okay, that's good. When somebody offers you a gift, please just take it, as long as it's not harming you. But that's not always the case. Let's say I give this to Sister Dinga. Okay, she likes the black pen, but she might not like this red pen. So I say, Sister Dinga, I have this red pen. I would like to give it to you. Please take it.
Thank you so much, but I already have the red one. I wonder if you have another one like black or green.
Okay. And then I would say to Sister Dinga, oh, because I don't need it anymore. I don't want it anymore, so you can have it. I don't know if sometimes you make this mistake, but I do. It's like, okay, I give away what I don't need or what I don't want. And that was my response. And I thought to myself, no, that's funny. I should practice to give away things that I love, that I like. Then that is really the practice of giving. It is super, super easy to practice giving materials. Things that we no longer need, we no longer want. That's easy. I think everybody can do this. But what is it that you have right now that you feel that you can give it away and that you love it very much? And it does not make you like have sleepless nights if you give it away, right? Of course, when we share about the teachings, let us be intelligent and have common sense. It's important that we are aware of this. And there are things that perhaps we are very attached, but we haven't used for like months or years. We just want to have that gratified feeling when we look at it. That's why it's so difficult for us to give it away. And like I shared in the previous session where I couldn't share much because of the causes and conditions, that every material things that we have in our home or that we have, they have a story behind it. There isn't anything that you see at home that does not have a story. Is that correct? So which one are we more cling to? The story of that object or that object itself? If we are clinging to that story, and the story is already in here, we can just invite it to come up. We don't have to have that object there. Right? We can give it away. We don't have to wait until we move to a new house or to another state to give things away. And this is a practice of letting go, being generous. That's why there is this saying, sharing is caring. From time to time, I would come to my room after being away from the monastery for a month, and coming back home, I would see different gifts on my table. And that makes me very happy. I like to receive gifts just like any other people. But those who know me, that they would not give me flowers as gift because I'm very bad at taking care of them. And I just want gifts that are under $5 and that can last for a long time. And it brings smile and joy to my face, seeing these gifts wrapped like very carefully, beautifully. One time, one of my sisters, she made me a hat to wear in the winter. And to knit a hat like that, it would take her at least 10 to 15 hours. And every time I touch it, I express my gratitude to her. So as a receiver, we also practice, not just as the giver. So we know what it feels to receive gifts. It's the gifts that make us feel good. I'm not talking about the gifts that make us feel bad. And so it is the same with others. When we give something to someone that they need, that they want, that they cherish, we are watering good seeds in them. And at the same time, we're watering good seed in ourselves. So I encourage you to please practice give what you love. Give away what you love, what you cherish. Let us listen to one sound of the bell. And please don't think of others only when we practice giving. We also think of ourselves. What are some things that we want to give to ourselves? Because being generous is first to ourselves. When we give something, it's not just because of our sacrifice. We give it because out of love, out of care, and we save some to ourselves. The second kind of gift that the Buddha wants us to practice is Dharma. All of us here are practitioners, mindfulness practitioners. And we know that the teachings of the Buddha continue to be strong after his passing away more than 2,600 years ago. And more people are able to find refuge in his teachings. Because his disciples, he taught his disciples to make sure that when it comes to share his teachings to others, that they are relevant and appropriate to the present time. If today we don't talk about climate change, we don't talk about racial equity, we don't talk about trauma, we don't talk about gender equality, then perhaps the teachings might not be relevant, because these are the topics that people want us to address, to share, to raise the awareness so that we can find a way out of suffering. And it's not just only spoken Dharma. Our presence, our silence, our stillness is also a Dharma, is a teaching that we can offer. Have you ever sat with someone, whether that is sitting meditation or just enjoy a cup of tea together, and you feel that they're teaching you a lesson, or that you're giving them a teaching that is very genuine, informal. There were moments that we sat next to our teacher. He didn't have to say a word. He didn't say a word. And yet, we were able to understand the real teaching behind it. But if he says something, it would be very simple and casual. For example, if both of us were cooking in the kitchen, cutting, what do we like to cut in the kitchen? Carrots or tofu. The teacher comes in and say to us, "My child, what are you doing?" If we answer to him, "Dear thầy, we're cutting carrots and tofu," he would just be like shaking his head like this. What he wants us to do right at that moment is to come back to our breathing and say, "Dear thầy, we are breathing and living fully in the present moment." So when somebody asks us a question, we can consider that as a teaching. And I noticed that oftentimes we have deep insights when we're with someone who have deep insights or experienced practitioners. Let's say that Sister Lingam and I, we would have so many stories with our teacher, and behind those stories contain insights because we were with our teacher. And I say to myself, why do I have to wait until I sit next to Thầy in order for me to have these insights or to think that he's giving me a teaching? I can sit and look at a child drawing or playing joyfully out in nature, and I can ask myself, what is this child teaching me right now? If I see a tree standing out there, I can ask myself, Sister Lingam, what do you think this tree is teaching you right now? This is an invitation for all of you not to wait until you sit next to a noble teacher or to an enlightened being to receive a teaching from them. When you are with your family members, with your friends, with your colleague, or you see a squirrel jumping from one branch to another branch, fearless, it is teaching us something. What we experience in our lives are very valuable. The insights, the struggles that we overcome, the joy that we experience. Many of you are going through old age right now. And I would love to hear what that experience is like for you. The joy of experiencing old age and the difficulties. And what you share with me, what you share with us, are teachings. So if we have an open mind, we can learn a lot from others and also from ourselves. Teaching here doesn't mean listening to a Dharma talk only. It is also how we walk, how we live our life, how we offer a cup of coffee, tea, or orange juice, or a cup of water to somebody. Are we really fully present there? Or do we just give just to get it done? And when we do something, does our act carry mindfulness, genuine care? Or we do it because out of responsibility? And whatever act that we do, whatever that we think, please consider them as teachings for ourselves, because we will be the first one that benefit from it. All of us here, I'm sure, have experienced broken heart. Being away from the people that we love, having to live close with the people that we have difficulties with. So if one day somebody comes to you and asks you for advice on this, please share. Toxic masculinity. Encourage young gentlemen to cry, to share their emotions, because toxic masculinity is just plain toxic. That's why it's called toxic masculinity. And that marriage is not just a man and a woman together. There's same-sex marriage. And that for beauty, for love to exist, to continue to persist, there must be diversity in the room. If you're at a meeting where around the table you only see one skin color, you only see one gender, then perhaps the future of that company, that organization, will not be very far. And if we speak up about it, then that is a teaching. And the last one is non-fear. Before we share on this one, I'd like to invite us to listen to one sound of the bell. There's a part of the brain that is called the amygdala. And if in our daily life we are fearful, then that amygdala gets bigger. There had been researchers who found that for people who practice meditation and mindfulness for some time, and they were able to cultivate the peace and the non-fear, then the amygdala shrinks. So we know that, the thoughts that we produce, the fear that we produce, the non-fear that we have, has an effect on our brain. And this gives us hope. I see it, this gives me hope. This encourages me to continue to practice, to bring mindfulness and meditation into my daily life, because it can change the structure of my brain and it helps me to be happier. My mom was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2010. In 2013, she was admitted to the hospital because of the severe pain. We were in there for at least almost 2 months. And I remember one night after the surgery she had in the morning, she was on morphine. And we know that the side effect of morphine can make one person hallucinate. And so it was like late at night, just both of us in the room. She opened her eyes and she said to me, "My daughter, I see animals crawling on the wall." And I said to her, "Oh, Mom, there are no animals crawling on the wall at all. It's only just plain wall." So, and I know that my mom was having a lot of fear as she was in the hospital or was going through cancer, which is very natural, very normal for someone who is going through a terminal illness, right? So one night while in the hospital, she lay on her bed. And before going to sleep, she said to me, "My daughter, please don't leave me here alone." Because she was very afraid of being alone. Afraid that if she needed something, nobody would be there. And I say to her, "Oh, Mom, dear Mom, I will always be here for you. I sleep very soundly, but here's a stick. If you need something, just tap it on the table and I'll wake up." Because she knew how soundly I can be when I sleep, deep sleep. I wanted to make sure that I was able to give this non-fear to my mom. Because over the years, I've received a lot of the gift of non-fear from others. And it helps me to have peace of mind. When we sit next to someone who is having a panic attack episode or anxiety, if we can just sit there or walk around with our non-fear, that's a great gift. Offer a gesture, holding their hands, give them a hug, take them for a walk. That's non-fear. These days we have many different kinds of hotlines. And the people who help with these hotlines, they're practicing non-fear. They remain calm, right? Somebody calls in because they're having suicidal thoughts. I feel that if you really want to practice non-fear, you can learn from these people, from these professionals, from these specialists. The tone of their voice, their composure, their peacefulness. Back in 2009, the monastics, the Plum Village monastics at Prashya Monastery, we were forced to leave the monastery. We didn't have another choice. We didn't have a choice. People would come to the monastery, threaten us. 400 monastics had to leave. And none of us knew where we would be going. And Sister Lingam experienced all that from the beginning. And so I would like to ask Sister Lingam, how were you able to practice non-fear in that moment when you experienced bullying, threats, attacks from people that have, sticks, tools? They broke the windows. They would do everything they can to go into the monastery. And we practice non-violence. So can you share with me how you were able to practice non-fear right at that moment. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you for wonderful teaching. I learned a lot from your sharing. Um, talking about the practicing on non-fear. At that time, I just were very new in the practice. I just joined the monastic life. When I was in Prajna Monastery, I was an aspirant. And then I went to another temple to continue to practice as an aspirant. And then 2 months later, I was allowed to ordain as a nun. And yeah, at that time it was so difficult for me to be stable because I was so new to the monastic life. But then for the love and spotted energy of the Sangha, as Sister Bội Nghiêm said that we have about 400 monastics at that time together, practicing together and support each other. And of course, I got some fear. Sometimes the fear is so big. But the sisters and brothers always remind me that try not to get angry at those people. Try not to keep a lot of fear in my mind. But practice to generate compassion, peace, energy toward those people. And I remember every day when we did walking meditation, when we stop in front of the Kuan Yin statue to invoke her name, I always look at her face and ask myself this question: how could I practice to generate non-fear, to generate love and peace to offer to those people? It was a kind of koan for myself at that time. And every day I just follow the schedule of the Sangha, enjoyed wholeheartedly everything we have at that time. Enjoy the love of each other. At that time we support each other, love each other, embrace each other, and accept each other 100%. And we have a wonderful monastic family, wonderful a kind of love family to taking care of each other. And there's one day while doing sitting meditation, I found out that I had a lot of wonderful conditions to be happy, more than enough to be happy. I have my ideal life. I want to become a nun, and I was allowed to become a nun, even though it was so difficult to the Sangha at that time. I remember that the sisters cried a lot when they agreed to let us ordain, because they didn't know where we would stay. And be accepted by the Sangha at that time, it was a big gift that I received. And I had a lot of gratitude to the Sangha. And the gratitude still so big in my mind till now. and I think it will last long. Another condition that I realized that I have at that time, that I was not that people, one of those people who made other people unhappy. Yeah. My mom cooked for example, in my countryside. She's not those people. My teachers, the one who teach people to make peace, to make compassion to other people, not those people. And by seeing those, recognize those conditions, that made me see more clearly the situation, that I have so wonderful life at that time. I was the happy person at that time. And those people, they might don't have those feelings. When we make someone unhappy, we're not happy, right? And those people, for sure, they're not happy. Then I have more peace inside myself. When I have more peace in myself, I see that the fear is released. And when I have little fear, I can generate empathy, compassion to those people who not yet understand us, who not yet capable to make us happy. Then at that time, I see that practicing, when you hear about that story, you will feel that, oh, you're so proud of us. But for me, in that situation, I see that it's so easy to practice, because I was in the monastery. I was in that wonderful environment that everyone wholeheartedly practice nonviolence, practice to generate peace and love to each other and to others. Then talking about those situations, I see that, oh, I'm so grateful to be with the Sangha at that time. And about non-fear in daily life, I see that just coming back to the breathing and accept myself as I am, then I can release the fear, because sometimes people around us don't want to make us unhappy. It's just the I don't know how to say. Sometimes I make my sister unhappy, but it doesn't mean that I don't love her, because I don't understand. I don't know how to let her know that I love her. Then just open to receive the feedback from others people, and also it's a way of communication to understand each other. And then when we understand each other, we can be at ease. And when we see that we are loved, then no more fear. Yeah. Talking about the non-fear, I remember one song that Sister Chân Đức sent to the Sangha in her Dharma talk about the, you know that song, Hello Little Fear.
No, can you sing it for us?
Oh, I wish I remember all the words. Hello, little fear. I know you are there. I hold you gently. I hold you with care. Mindfulness is there all night and all day, so we don't need to run away. We sail our boat to the safe shore of the island of self. Then fear no more. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Sister Lingam, for sharing. Yeah. And also for singing. Sitting next to her, I can feel her energy of non-fear. It is her first time joining us, and that peaceful energy that she gives is very much appreciated. So there are some of you who have to leave. We would like to say thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And now we would like to open the circle, the Zoom room, to those of us who would like to share on this topic of generosity and giving. And we will stop the live streaming on YouTube.